Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So listen, today is officially the day. Now, listen, if you thought that this was clickbait, it's not. Today is officially the day of the crypto summit. And well, I do think that's going to be a big day, but I also want you guys to realize that, right now, currently speaking, it is going to also be a very volatile day. So I just want you guys to buckle up and be prepared because there is going to be a lot of swings, in my opinion. A lot of people are probably, predicting that this is going to be a sell the news event from what I have seen over on X. So we'll probably see a little bit of impulsive selling from the retail side of things. And this is also going to be mixed with the institutions also playing a big game. We know that the market has been getting manipulated over the last couple weeks. So it makes a lot of sense for this to be one big manipulation event, very volatile as well. But I want you guys to realize that this is also a very big day for crypto. And we're going to get to that here in a second. But first, I actually want to talk about a few things that are upcoming, like, for an example, Consensus 2025. CoinDesk actually just put out a post regarding this because this is an event actually hosted by them. So we have deals get done at Consensus 2025. Don't take our word for it. See what past sponsors had to say. Ready to put your brand in front of the biggest names in crypto. Explore our sponsorship opportunities today. Now, again, if we're looking at this event, this is definitely one of the biggest events around crypto. It's going to be happening in May 14th through the 16th. 20,000 plus attendees will gather from over 100 countries to attend Consensus 2025. $3 trillion in assets under managed by the finance giants gathered at Consensus 2024. I wonder what names are going to be here, which in my opinion, if we're just thinking about one big name that has been around crypto for a bit of time now, BlackRock, that number could significantly increase upwards of $10+ trillion. Now, again, this is going to include some pretty big players from the space for the speakers side. Now, there is more speakers here, so we can see all of them. Now, you might be wondering, well, what about Ripple? Yeah, Ripple's not here as a speaker, but they are there as a sponsor, as you guys can see over here. They're actually one of the 3 block sponsors. But I want to just take a quick look with you guys because if we really look at some of the speakers from this space, there is going to be a lot of big names from this space, but also even from the TradFi side of things as well. So I'm actually very, very excited for this event. I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff that gets announced at this event as well, and probably a lot of sponsorship deals as well. So again, pay attention to this event. And outside of that, when we look at the sponsors list here, so again, the 3 block, nothing too crazy. I mean, outside of Ripple, right? Like, we also have Hedera on there and a few other names. But down here is where we start to get the big names, which is the block 1. For an example, the DTCC is there. Again, an absolute giant in TradFi. They've been making their name known around the tokenization side of things. They also have BVNK, which recently did a podcast actually through their tokenized podcast. Again, another great name. Securitize is there. Huge name. And outside of that, nothing too crazy. But I am very excited to see what is discussed at this event because so far the past events around Consensus have been very exciting, to say the least. And here we actually have top companies that attend Consensus: Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, HSBC, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Fidelity, Stripe. You have so many names on here. I mean, it's just insane. So I am expecting this event to be very big, and I can just imagine what's going to be talked about at this event. So outside of that, let's talk about today. Let's talk about what's going to be happening today, because I want you guys to be prepared and I want you guys to be ready. So just like my previous videos, yeah, we do have a lot of big financial updates actually happening today. So here we have Friday, March 7th. So at 8:30 a.m., we get the U.S. jobs report. This is pre-open, by the way. So everything around 8:30 a.m., we get the U.S. jobs report, the U.S. unemployment rate, the U.S. hourly wages, and the hourly wages year over year. Now, like I said, this is 1 hour before the stock market opens because this is all in EST time. And when we think about that, these could have significant effects on stocks, which definitely does lead to having those effects the same around crypto. So these 4 updates are going to be very important to focus on. All right. And then outside of that, after the stock market open, we get some major speeches, and they're actually coming from Fed governors and Fed chairman. Like, for an example, Jerome Powell. We have Michelle Bowman speaking. The New York Fed President Williams is speaking. Fed Governor Adriana Kugler speaking as well. And then, of course, the Fed chairman himself, Jerome Powell, is also speaking. And this goes on from 10:15 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. to 12:20 p.m. and then 12:30 p.m. Again, big swings in the market will most likely happen because what Chairman Jerome Powell is going to be talking about is economics. He's going to be addressing the economic structure right now of the U.S. economy, what's been happening. He's probably going to address the tariff war that's ongoing. So again, when we think about what's being addressed at this meeting, it could have severe effects on these markets. And when I say severe, I don't mean it's going to have negative effects or anything like that. I'm just saying that it could create volatile wicks. So do not be in, leverage positions at all. I would not be touching leverage at all. And then, of course, we do get consumer credit at 3 p.m. So again, some pretty significant updates today just alone. I mean, this is such a substantial list of updates. So definitely just buckle up and prepare. Now, outside of that, we also have the list of, guests at the crypto summit. Now, everyone was making this a big deal because, again, we have under the confirmed section, Brad Garlinghouse. Now, like I said many times over in the past, this was basically guaranteed. You already know that this was going to happen. It just made so much sense to have Brad Garlinghouse at this event after everything that we've really kind of read and what we looked over the last couple months. I mean, ever since the election, Ripple has become a big name around this space. So it just made a lot of sense to have Brad Garlinghouse there at the crypto summit. They've been really kind of talking to Trump, meeting with Trump. They even met with Trump back in the summer before the election as well. So it just made a lot of sense and it looked guaranteed from my point of view. And then, of course, Brad Garlinghouse basically confirmed it. So again, is this a big surprise? Not exactly. Now, there is an unconfirmed list, which I am curious to know if Charles Hoskinson, which is the founder of Cardano, is going to be there or not. So far, we have no update behind that. But outside of that, we also have some White House confirmed names like Beau Hines, David Sachs, Mark Ueda, and Caroline Pham, which, by the way, Caroline Pham did meet with Brad Garlinghouse and actually did a tour of Ripple's headquarters. So again, just some pretty big significant connections there. But outside of that, we have a post, and I want to really kind of reiterate this because a lot of people are expecting this crypto summit to be a big flop. They think that it's going to be a pump and dump. They think that it's not going to really have a big effect on the market. It's going to be a sell the news event. And a good friend of mine in the space, Crypto Nagato, did put out a great post, and he said, Friday's crypto summit will be a sell the news event, quoting everyone that's on X. I've lost count of how many tweets I've seen with this exact take. Now everyone is convinced that Trump is just a pump and dump guy and expects the summit to be another joke. Not saying it won't be, but you know how these things usually play out. When everybody is so fixated on a specific scenario, anytime, anyway, time will tell. There is really no point in speculating. One tip for you is avoid high leverage around that event 100%. I'm telling you guys right now, do not touch leverage. If you're not experienced, if you're not a veteran in the space, do not touch high leverage. It's one of the easiest ways to lose money and blow your portfolio. Now, there will also be a ton of volatility. There's going to be so much volatility today. So definitely strap in for that. And even if you predict the right direction, poor risk management can still get you liquidated before the trade moves in your favor. Don't play dumb games. Yeah, again, this is something that we do not play with leverage. We just wait to see what happens at this event. The big thing that I am focused on is what's going to be, happening around and at this event. Number one, we do know that the Trump White House Summit will announce a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is actually coming from Howard Lutnick, the U.S. Commerce Secretary. Other tokens will be treated positively, but differently. Game-changing news. Again, we got that over the last couple days. And then also, we just got a pretty big update from the SEC Crypto Task Force as well, because they're going to be hosting a roundtable on security. It will be streamed live, and this actually will begin on March 21st. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if we go back over here to the list of players that will be at this event, at this crypto summit, we know that Mark Ueda, the acting chairman of the US SEC, is going to be there, but also acting chairman of the US Commodities or Commodity Futures Trading Commission, Caroline D. Pim, is also going to be there. So I'm sure that regulatory talks are going to come up, and I'm sure that this is also going to be a focus, aka the Crypto Task Force. Because even if we go over here, and big shout out to Bank XRP for this, they're going to be discussing key areas of interest in the regulation of crypto assets. The Spring Sprint Towards Crypto Clarity series will begin on March 21st with its inaugural roundtable, How We Got Here and How We Get Out, Defining Security Status. So again, I feel like this whole month is going to be very big, and I think that everything is kind of going to get set in motion this Friday, aka today. So when we think about this, definitely prepare, because I think that this is going to be a very big day for crypto. Regardless of what price action we see. It's not about the price action. I feel like everyone is focused and so fixated on the price action of these big events or whatever. Think about how crazy it is to actually have a president now, an acting president, talking about and hosting a crypto. Like, to think those words are actually coming out of my mouth right now, that a president is holding a crypto summit, is just insane if you think about it. I mean, this space has come so far since going all the way back to like 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. And again, it's very exciting to see how this space has evolved. Now, on top of that, right, there was a great post that I saw from Kraken FX actually, and it was regarding their crypto strategic reserve, a new option for your portfolio. This is basically what it looks like. So we have US strategic reserve, 5 possible candidates. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and ADA, because again, these are the ones that are confirmed. And Kraken FX actually did post this, which is very exciting. We could actually see it over here as well if we scroll down a little bit. Here we have God Bless America for Real, and this is the US strategic reserve, 5 possible candidates from Kraken FX. Again, it's very exciting. Now, they also did post this clip, which I do have over here as well queued up. So we have an adult enters the US strategic crypto reserve conversation. Again, this is an individual from Kraken FX, the global head of policy actually at Kraken FX. And he was on CNBC recently talking about these the crypto reserve and what it really means for this entire space. So check this out real quick. It's about 1 minute and like 12 seconds. So listen closely.
Now, the other news we're tracking is this announcement from President Trump that the U.S. will move forward with plans to create a strategic crypto reserve or stockpile housing a number of digital currencies. And I want your reaction to that news and what, if anything, it means for Kraken.
Look, we're encouraged to see that announcement. I think that's, a reflection of the president and this administration staying true to commitments that they announced, early last year. I think we saw, in the summer of last year, we've seen leadership from even the Senate, Senator Lummis, who now chairs the Digital Asset Subcommittee, announce a similar initiative for Congress. So, we look forward to that moving forward. I think it's going to reflect, crypto as an asset class, coming into the mainstream. We've already seen that with index-linked products. Our business, CF Benchmarks, which is the world's leading index provider, which powers most of the exchange-traded products here in the U.S. and other markets, has really grown. And we think the strategic reserve is another reflection of traditional market allocation into crypto as an asset class.
And yeah, I mean, listen, as we really think about these crypto reserves, the big thing that I'm actually focused on isn't so much about like how much this is going to do for the price or what it's going to do, for this, that, whatever. I'm mainly looking at this US strategic crypto reserve as a defining moment for crypto. Why? Well, because if the US is doing this, what do you think every other nation is thinking about right now? They're thinking about, how can we have something like this? And also, it starts to have those conversations around crypto where it's like, oh, maybe I should be paying attention to this. Maybe I should be looking into, this asset class now. And all of a sudden, even the big players are looking at it and they're saying, well, these must be the projects. And when we think about the projects tied to this, we already have the list here. Like when we think about this, all the institutions, all the big players, everyone is now going to be looking at this list and saying, well, if this is under the US Strategic Reserve, I should probably hold some of these. It starts to create a demand. It starts to put these cryptos and even this space into that, section where all of a sudden they can trust it. It's a legitimate asset class. It gives it legitimacy from a US standpoint, but also from a governmental standpoint. It's no longer about, all right, well, if the banks start to use this tech or push this tech, people will trust it. Now you have an acting president launching a government strategic reserve for crypto. It doesn't get any bigger than that. So what this really does for this entire space is it puts it on main stage. Now everyone can't avoid crypto. All of a sudden, you're going to have a lot of people looking into it. They're studying it. They're learning about it. This is a very big accelerant for mass adoption. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, set notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.